Hi, my name is Madeline Queen, and I am representing the Campbell County FFA chapter. Today I will be talking to you about animal welfare in rodeos. You have just purchased your ticket to a local high school rodeo performance. You are chatting with your friends as you get your hot dog and find your seats. As you sit down, you notice all the junior high and high school competitors are practicing their roping, observing their bulls, and tacking and warming up their horses. You look to your left and you notice people yelling to cancel the rodeo because of animal cruelty. You look closer and you see people handcuffing themselves to the chutes, blocking the alleyways, and insulting these teens for doing what they love. Sound extreme? Sound a little crazy? This is happening all over the U.S., with people on one side seeing rodeo as a sport and a lifestyle, and on the other viewing it as an example of animal cruelty. Throughout my first year in rodeo, I have had the chance to see behind the scenes of rodeo. While the sport of rodeo can be dangerous and thrilling, the animals used in this sport receive the greatest care and attention. In most situations, they are not mistreated in the slightest. One way to understand the different perspectives of participants and protesters is by understanding the difference between animal welfare and animal rights, as well as talking about the safety measures in place for the animals. I will begin with the difference between the concept of animal rights and animal welfare. There are two different philosophies used by animal advocates. According to the organization PETA, which stands for People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, the term animal rights means that animals are entitled to the possession of their own existence and that their most basic interests should be afforded the same consideration as humans, regardless of whether they are cute, useful to humans, or even an endangered species, regardless of whether any animal cares about them at all. It specifies that animals are not ours to use for food, clothing, entertainment, or even experiments. With this approach, no animal should be domesticated. This includes pets, seeing eye dogs, police dogs, animals in the zoo, and even livestock on farms. These advocates do not believe in the consumption of animal products or byproducts such as eggs or cheese. On the other hand, animal welfare activists believe in caring for animals, ensuring that their needs are met. They believe in protecting animals and respecting animals, allowing domestication of animals as long as they are not being mistreated or abused in any manner. These beliefs are advocated by rodeo participants and by the sport overall. As a fact, many rodeos can actually lengthen the life of animals because of the tremendous care individuals provide for their livestock. According to the National Senior Pro Rodeo Association, it is not unusual for a bucking horse to be kicking its heels in a fine fashion well over the age of 25, and many bulls are still active buckers at the age of 15. Veterinarians attribute this to good care they receive, which includes quality feed and adequate exercise. In the rodeo world, our biggest concerns is our animal welfare. Not only because they are the whole reason that this sport is possible, but also because animals are considered family to the contestants and rodeo contractors. There's talk about animals getting hurt, painful procedures being used, and poor care overall. Dr. James Furman, a practitioner in mixed practice and former rodeo rider, during the Animal Welfare Forum. The ironic thing is that the Professional Rodeo Cowboys Association has had its animal welfare guidelines in place since 1947. This long-time dedication is particularly interesting, considering that PETA was only established during 1980, and the Animal Legal Defense Fund was started in 1979. Both of these organizations that protest rodeos began more than 20 years after rodeos put their own welfare guidelines into place. This is one example of how rodeos have long been concerned about the well-being of their animals. Now that we have talked about where rodeos stand on animal treatment, I want to show you why rodeos want to treat their animals with respect. Like I said earlier, these animals are a critical part of rodeo for both the contestants and the rough stock contractors. The contractors, the animal owners, have significant financial investments in the animals. The owners are contracted, hence the name rough stock contractor, by the rodeos only if their stock is healthy and will perform. Half of the score is based on the rider, the bull riders, and the bronc riders, and half is based on the performance of the animal. So it is critical that they have high-performing, healthy, and happy livestock. These animals are costly investments. A single bull can cost more than $40,000. This is business. If the contractors do not have the best performing stock, they will not be successful and ultimately will go out of business. Injured animals can cost thousands of dollars, so owners work hard to care for their animals. Another misconception is the reason why horses and bulls buck during the show. While some people think that they buck because they are hurt, I am here to debunk that idea. Horses and bulls do not buck because they are being mistreated or hurt. They buck because they are bred to have the tendency to behave in that way. In fact, they are trained to buck just like a horse is trained to be ridden. Breeders spend their lifetime and life savings developing the best, healthiest, and feistiest bucking animals. Not only do rodeos demand quality in its cowboys, but in its animals too. But the majority of rodeo contestants cannot make a living off of rodeo alone, especially because of the high cost of entry fees and travel. Many are veterinarians, farriers, farmers, ranchers, and have other agriculture-related careers. These people are dedicating their lives to the well-being of animals on and off the competitive stage. This dedication is carried over into the rodeo ring. Accidents do not happen very frequently in rodeo because of the rules and precautions that are in place to ensure the well-being and safety of animals. The Rodeo Club of Illinois conducted a survey of on-site rodeo vets in 2000. Out of almost 72,000 animals run in 187 separate rodeos, only 38 injuries were recorded. Doing the math, that is 0.0005%. This percentage is extremely minimal, despite what opponents claim. Rodeos require several different safety measures and equipment set in place to protect the animals. In timed events, they use horn protectors, which are placed over the horns of the steers to protect and support the horns. Calves also have very thick and flexible necks, and the ropes are used are quick release. Once the horse steps forward, the rope immediately loosens so there is no pressure on the calf. In rough stock and bucking events, wide halters are required, which distribute any potential pressure on the horse's face. Rodeos also use flank straps, which is a source of many misconceptions. This strap is wide and lined with sheepskin, which helps prevent any pinching or discomfort. It is placed in an area that is equivalent to our waist. As you may know, this area on animals as well as people is very ticklish. The strap is nowhere near or around the animal's genitals. Rather, it is just in their tickle spot. It does not hurt the animal at all, but rather it protects it. At the end of the day, rodeos are just one big family, animals included. Rodeos contestants and contractors believe in animal welfare and respecting their animals. They are passionate about the care of these animals, which bring them joy in the arena and often are an important part of their livelihood. Long before other groups formed, rodeos established important rules and regulations to protect these animals. You can see these protections both in the rules of rodeo and the equipment required. No sport is perfect, but rodeos do a pretty great job in ensuring the safety and care of these animals deserve through their equipment and rules that they have put in place many, many years ago. Rodeo is an exhilarating sport that shows the beauty of the relationship between animals and humans. Now go to your next rodeo, grab a hot dog, and enjoy the show.